Hi guys, Carrie with Fullerton Professional Organizing. This is the place where we help you declutter your faith, your home, and your business. And today we're talking about our fantasy self. Um, not, it's who we wish we were. Like I, for example, would love to be pioneer woman. And what I mean by that is I would love to just buy her cookbooks and cook all the recipes. But realistically, I am a super simple cook. I pre-cook all my ground beef so that when I come home, all I have to do is mix it up with a few things and make a meal. My husband barbecues so that I can slice it all up, put it in the freezer, and we can eat it every Sunday, whatever he barbecues. Um, I'm just throw some sauce, some link sausages in the air fryer, throw some wings in the air fryer. I do occasionally make sourdough bread, which makes me feel like pioneer woman, but that's what I mean by fantasy self. We want to be a crafter, but technically we can't, we just can't actually go into the craft room and get it done. What is our season now? And we've got to be honest about our fantasy life. Will I really be the person that I think I want to be? Not someday, not in theory, but in the life I'm actually living right now. Am I really going to do this? Or do I just like the idea of who I might become? Because your closet, your shelves, your garage, they already know the answer. Today, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about something most people don't realize they're even doing or they're holding on to, the fantasy self. All those cooking gadgets because you want to be pioneer woman, all the cookbooks because you want to be, you want to cook like Betty Crocker, right? Not clutter in the traditional sense, but the belongings tied to a version of you that really hasn't shown up yet. And you really, if you really, 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 really think about it, you really don't want to show up. And I'm not talking about a better version of yourself. I'm just talking about let's be realistic. Let's not hold on to things for some day when that's never going to come. And this is not about shame. This is not about regret. And this is definitely not about giving up on growth. We all are going to grow. It's about honesty and alignment and choosing a home that supports who you really are, not who you think you should be or who you imagine. The fantasy self is the version of you who has more time, has more energy, has fewer responsibilities, lives in a different season of life. Right now, you may be in baby season and want to do all the activities as if you're in the retired season. You can still do all the activities once you retire, but right now, you are not retired. You're in the baby season. So, This is the person you were, or this is the person that you were when you were in the baby season, and now you're in the retirement season, and all you want to do is relax, and you thought you were going to do all those activities. This is the person you were when you bought the business casual wardrobe for the job you never took, the workout equipment that assumes uninterrupted mornings, the kitchen tools for meals you don't actually want to cook, the craft supplies for hobbies you admire but don't create. The fantasy self is hopeful but often unrealistic. And that's okay. What's not okay is letting that version take over your home. We keep fantasy items because they represent optimism, identity, a promise we made to ourselves. Letting them go can feel like letting go of your ambition, letting go of your youth, letting go of who we thought we'd be, or who we thought we wanted to be, but really deep down we don't, because it takes a lot of work and maintenance. But here's the truth: growth does not require storage. You do not need proof of your potential sitting in bins and closets. Now, when you're holding on an item tied to a fantasy version of yourself, ask, will I really be this person in the next year? Not someday, not when things slow down. Look at your actual calendar, your current commitments, your real energy. Do you have the energy to be Betty Crocker every single day, or Pioneer Woman? Am I really going to do this? Not could I? Of course, we all could. But do I choose to? Do I choose to make the time? Do I choose to do the maintenance, do the work? Because intention without follow through becomes clutter. Do I really want this, or do I want what it represents? Sometimes you don't want the thing, you want rest, confidence, creativity, and freedom. And those don't live in closets. Your closet fantasy, clothes for events that you don't really want to attend, to impress people that you don't really know. Sizes from your past, or size that you hope to be someday. Styles that don't match your lifestyle. If you're in the baby season, you're not going to wear a suit every day to clean your house. Kitchen fantasy, specialty appliances and cookbooks untouched, hosting supplies you dread using. Your hobby fantasy, craft rooms that stress you out, gear that assumes hours you don't have. What about the career fantasy? Let's hope that we are successful, but we don't have to have the fantasy purses and the fantasy suits. Materials with paths you've outgrown, certificates or supplies tied to old goals. Letting go doesn't mean failure, it means maturity. It's like, now I have my own business, but I have a certificate from when I was 5 years at Sam's Club. So let me say that again. Letting go doesn't mean failure. It means we've grown and we've matured. Keep items, or we changed our mind. Keep items that support your current routines, your real responsibilities, and your present joys. Design your home for ease, function, and peace. Yes, aesthetics matter, but not as much as function. Not for a performance of who you think you should be. Your home should tell the truth. I'm in baby season, or I'm in travel season because I have retired. Not about who you hoped to be, but about who you are becoming right now. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to choose differently. You are allowed to let go. And when your space finally matches your life, the real life you want to live, you don't lose possibility. You gain room to breathe. So, if this message reminded you of things that you no longer want to aspire to because you've changed your mind and you want something different, subscribe. Subscribe for more real life organizing conversations. Share this with someone who's holding on to someday I'm going to be skinny. Someday I'm going to start crafting or cooking everything from scratch. And if you're ready to organize your home around the life you're actually living, Fullerton Professional Organizing is here to help in person or virtually. All right, guys. I've several times, especially around Pioneer Woman. I love Pioneer Woman. I would love to cook all these meals, but I've got two problems. One, my husband and I have diabetes. Two, I just don't have the energy to do all of the fancy cooking or the time, or do I want to make time? I would love doing all of that, but I had to be realistic and realize I don't. Now, I do still cook. I make my sourdough bread. I use my Instapot, which is not an Instapot brand. I use, my freezer, but I do it all to make my cooking homemade, but simpler and less time consuming. So I do cook everything at home. I just do it simpler. I don't have time to be a full-blown pioneer woman. All right, guys, let go of who you think you should be and be the person you are today. All right, guys, thank you for listening and watching, and I will see you on the next one.